Yes, as a woman, you've got to prove yourself. And the way to prove yourself is through your wisdom. And every environment that you move into, there's a culture shock.
Yeah.
You know, every environment is different. You know, just because your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, your mama, your grandma have all bought properties in Ghana does not mean that they are a real estate professional that can guide you and assist you in your home purchase.
Hanna, thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited because the wealth of wisdom that you bring about real estate. But before we jump in and give you guys all the information about real estate, we wanted to find out a little bit more about you and your return to Ghana. When were you Ghana bound?
Well, thank you so much, Sam and Yaba, for having me on. I'm so excited because this is huge to be on Ghana bound. So yay, I'm on, guys. Yeah, so I'm excited to be here, so thanks for having me. And my transition to Ghana has been crazy. It's been crazy good. You know, I always put those two words together because I'm sure we'll get into it, but yeah, it's been crazy good.
Wow. So when did you contemplate? Let's talk about your background a little bit more. So are you Ghanaian?
Yes, I am. Contrary to what people may believe, I am Ghanaian. I am actually, my parents are Ashanti. So
okay,
yeah.
Why contrary? Do you get that a lot?
I do. People have actually told me to show my passport. Like they need evidence that I'm Ghanaian. A lot of people think I'm Ethiopian, and you know, when I traveled to Ethiopia actually, and you know, you're going through the lines, and they would actually call me to the national lines, and I'm like, no, I'm really Ghanaian, and these are Ethiopians doing that. So
such a compliment.
I get I get that all the time. Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm Ghanaian, yes.
Amazing.
So, where does the story start for you? How have we had the opportunity to work with you here in Ghana? Where does your story start?
Okay, so I was in the States, and actually I'm a pastor as well. So before transitioning, you know, God literally told me to come to Ghana. So it wasn't that I was like, oh, let me go to Ghana, but you know, He told me to come to Ghana, and so this was a prompting to come. So I wasn't like most people who come and they test the waters and see what business opportunities are out here, and you know, they travel back and forth and that sort of thing. I did not. I just 100% obedience. I just jumped in, and from the time I was unctioned or prompted to leave, within 6 weeks I sold everything, packed my bags, and was here. So I did the big jump. I'm not encouraging everybody to do that, but I did that. Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, if you're going to do the jump, what I will say is, you know, it depends on your character, you know, and it depends on how you are able to quickly adapt to the environment and situations, right? So it's not something that everybody should do. I would probably say that take your time, you know, come back and forth, test the water, stay here for a period of 3 months, go back, come back, that sort of thing. But I did the jump. Yeah.
Wow.
How long were you away from, like how long were you living in the States for?
Okay, so I've never lived in Ghana. I lived in the States for a number of years. However, before that, I lived in Ethiopia. You know, I knew the minute I'd say that, that you would say, well, that's why you look Ethiopian now. So I lived in Ethiopia for about 17 years. I went to school in Kenya. I lived in the UK, then went to the US. So I never lived in Ghana. So it was like coming to a foreign land, so to speak.
Wow. And then to have that message to jump in.
Yeah, and
so
then I jumped.
when was that message for you? How many years have you been here in Ghana?
Okay, so I've been here, it's my 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Fantastic.
I didn't know I'd make it 10 years, but yes, I've made it. So May 1st was 10 years here.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you're in your 10th year.
Yep.
Were you in real estate before?
Yes, I was. So I did real estate in the States. So I did it in the capacity of an investor. So I was buying, rehabbing properties. I was a mortgage loan officer as well. So I did mortgage finance. And then I did the real estate broker part as well. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you transferred those skills here. So a thing that we haven't said is that not only do we have a powerful player in the real estate industry here, we have a multi-award-winning CEO. Okay, so all of you that don't,
I like your drum roll.
that don't know, we have very powerful independent women here working and making very big inroads into the, I mean, come on. You're a founder of Garib.
Yes, I am.
The
I
Ghana
am.
Association of Real Estate Brokers.
So
Yes.
when you talk about trusted realtors, this is what you see in the dictionary.
Thank you.
So on that note, because of course in the US,
Yep.
it's very regulated. Talk about sanitized,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how did you find it transitioning, not just yourself in a country you've never lived in, but a career as well?
Crazy. Chaotic. I mean, I just gotta, tell you how it was. It's chaotic, right? Nothing that is unregulated is gonna pretty much go smoothly. So coming here and finding out that there is no regulation, every other entity here or sector is regulated.
Yeah.
The banking, the financial markets, Securities and Exchange, Bank of Ghana, but you come to real estate and it's not regulated. Right, so what we did is a group of us founded GAREB, Ghana Association of Real Estate Brokers.
Yep.
That was to help sanitize the market, and by doing that, you're bringing together professionals, you're providing the education, the training to ensure that at least we are providing the best professional real estate services out there. So that's why we started GAREB. Yeah.
So give us some examples of some of the horrors that you met, because coming from somewhere that very organized in terms of real estate transactions to somewhere where not regulated at all, what did you face?
The documentation, okay?
Wow.
Documentation. Some people have documentation and some people don't. That's one thing. And then trying to verify the validity of the owner, making sure you are truly the owner. I mean, we're all now FBIs apparently, because there's a lot of investigation.
We're getting that now.
Yes, that's involved, So that's something else. And then also the fact that it takes forever. I mean, you end up going into pension waiting for your documentation, because I was so used to it being a 72-hour turnaround time.
72 hours?
Yes.
That's how quick?
Yeah, for title documents in the States. It's 72 hours. Title, to get your title, to find the chain of title, and to validate the ownership. And you come here, and it's like, I'm not sure, or even if they give you a time frame, times it by 10 years, and you're receiving your pension checks, apparently waiting for your documentation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it must have been
frustrating.
challenging. Okay.
To say the least.
Yes, it's frustrating, it's challenging, but I guess, you look at it that, okay, so this is a problem. I can either be frustrated about the problem, I could be upset about the problem, or I can find a solution to the problem. So one of the things that we did here at Ewell's Realty and Consultancies, we partnered with a law firm, M&O Law Consult, and we started the escrow services. So that was the solution that we brought to this issue, to ensure that all our clients are not running into land litigations and documentation issues, or losing their monies that they've worked hard for by paying who they thought was the real owner, only to find out it's not the real owner, and chances of getting your money back are slim to none.
That does make a lot of people more secure in their transactions over here.
Right. Well, because it's a system that people are familiar with. I mean, in the UK, all transactions, real estate transactions, happen with a solicitor. In the US, all real estate transactions happen with an escrow agent, which is a lawyer. So we have just implemented that to ensure that all real estate transactions through Ewell's happen with a law firm. Yeah.
No, you go. We've both got so many questions. I'll hold back. Go for it.
So how was it setting up the business, and what was the landscape like? We said that there was not a lot of, come on Sam. So we said that there was not a lot of, what is the word?
Professionals.
Professionals.
Yep.
Systems.
In place. How was it? I mean, you're a lady. How did you find that as a woman setting up this in this industry?
I think that's a whole nother conversation. as a woman, this is a male-dominated industry. We all know that real estate is male dominated. So as a woman, what I would say is, first of all, know your stuff. You know, make sure you're very knowledgeable about the sector, and then you've got to be a little bit more assertive, you know. So yes, as a woman, you've got to prove yourself, and the way to prove yourself is through your wisdom, through your knowledge, through your skill sets. So invest in yourself, brush up on everything necessary so that people take you seriously because of what you know, and not necessarily the fact that you're a woman, right? So that's what I'd say on that. But coming into industry where the systems are not in place, you know, you have that opportunity to start putting things in place. So that's what we did again with Gareb, and that's what we've done with eWells, with the escrow services. And you know, you begin to set the standard.
Yes.
You know, if you are providing professional services, and you know, we are essentially, you know, proud to say that we are now the gateway to real estate investment opportunities and home ownership opportunities for those in the diaspora, simply because we put the systems in place and we've set the standard for that. Yeah.
Amazing. So that's the business side of things, right? So you've come here, never lived here before. You're Ghanaian. But how was it? How was it when you landed? Were there any culture shocks that you faced? And share them with us.
Yes. Yes, there were times I would find myself driving towards the airport. And you know, there's that little roundabout around the airport. I found myself driving round and round,
so close,
trying to say, should I go to the airport or should I go back home? So I was driving around and I was crying. I was driving around and crying and driving around, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go on home. So yeah, so you know, I think we all reach that point where it's like, you know, do I really want to continue with this?
Yeah.
Do I just want to go back, you know, to what I'm familiar with, to the systems, to the structures in place, or do I want to come here and, you know, overcome all these obstacles and challenges that are challenging, that they're difficult? It's not impossible, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't have the backing of certain entities, right?
Absolutely.
And so it makes it a little bit more challenging. So yeah, that was one of the things for me. But the culture shock,
It's coming back now. It's 10 years later.
I'm like, whew, okay. Well, you know, one of the things I realized was the mentality, you know, just the mentality of the people in the community that was different to what I was used to. You know, you're used to a more fast-paced, structured, developed environment, and here it's, you know, it's a little bit more slower. Things are made more complicated than they need to be, and you know, the mindsets are different. So I had to get used to that, and I'm not somebody who really, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love conconte and groundnut soup now. That's my favorite dish, but there's some of the dishes that, you know, I really still don't even eat today, you know. But so that was, in terms of the food, that was a bit of a culture shock, you know, for me. The language, you know, I had to quickly, I mean, I didn't grow up learning the language.
Right.
You know, I spoke more Amharic actually than Tree, and I grew up eating Ethiopian food as well. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, that was also part of it, yeah.
So, you know, when you talk about challenges, we've used that word a lot, whether it's in a filmed chat or we talk about our own experiences, but I think people don't always quite grasp that moment everyone experiences where you're really in a challenge. And we throw the word around, but it's good to communicate to everybody that it can be really, really hard, to the point where you're driving around on a roundabout crying, but something or someone drove you back.
Pushed me back, I would say.
Pushed you back.
Pushed me back.
But it really is a calling though, right?
Yeah, it is. It is, and I would say that be absolutely sure. I think come with an intention, come with a goal, come with a purpose. If you're just moving just to be moving, but that's anywhere, you know, and I'd say this because I've been relocating all my life. Like I said, I was in Ethiopia, I was in Kenya, I was in the US, in the UK. So I've been relocating, and every environment that you move into, there's a culture shock.
Yeah.
You know, every environment is different, and you just have to have that purpose. What is your purpose for being in this new geographic location? You know, and for me, what I realized in the midst of all the frustration and all the challenges was that I wanted to come here and make an impact, number one. And number two, I want to leave a legacy, you know, so impact and legacy. And when you say legacy, that's also leaving seeds of legacies in people's life as well, so that they can also pass that on to generations. So, you know, what is your purpose? What is the original intent for you coming here? So if you are able to identify or define your purpose, then that's what continues to motivate you, inspire you, drive you, and keep you, keep you here, you know? So that's what I would say.
That's powerful. And that's why you are our mentor. That's why. So we've known you for a year now. And I know you've been running, how long have you been running your company for now? Yeah,
so eWealth was established in 2014.
Wow.
2014.
So we're talking about impact. You've already made an impact hugely.
Thank you.
And I think it's fair to say you've been rewarded for it, like with all the awards you've got as well.
Thank you.
So just well done, and thank you for that.
And not only have you talked about it, you've walked it, you've been in the hands of change in the industry. So since 2014 and beyond, I mean, some of the things that you would have gone through in the States, I'm sure you can transfer across.
Yeah.
What are some of the top highlights or top mistakes that you find people coming back to Ghana continually make?
In terms of purchasing a property or land or anything like that? Okay. So I would say, you know, what I always find interesting is that people coming to Ghana and purchasing the largest investment you would ever probably make in your lifetime, right? Are always trying to cut corners. You know, you want to find the cheapest way to be able to purchase this large investment. So you don't want to use a real estate agent. Now, paying a commission, a small percentage of this investment up front is worth it. And a lot of people want to avoid using a real estate agent. We know the market. We know the market trends. We know the pitfalls for you to avoid. We can negotiate for you. We can make sure that you are following the right legal steps to ensure that your property is being registered correctly. I mean, we can provide you with the guidance that you need to ensure that your investment is safe. So the first thing people do is they try to cut corners. Stop it. Stop it already. You know what I mean? If you're going to look for a surgeon, I mean, you're going to do your research to make sure it is the best surgeon. Right? You know what I mean? If you're going to get a lawyer, you do your research and if you're going to court, you do your research and you get a good lawyer. So do your research and get a good real estate company like eWealth Realty and Consultancy to assist you in the largest transaction you're making, right? And then secondly, people don't do their due diligence. You know, just because your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, your mama, your grandma have all bought properties in Ghana does not mean that they are a real estate professional that can guide you and assist you in your home purchase. So stop leaning on, you know, if I want to get my hair cut, I'm not going to go to Yaba because she's my good friend to cut my hair for me, because she's not a hairstylist. She doesn't have a license, right? So why would I go to her? It's the same thing. Why would you go to people just because they've already purchased the property before? They don't know the proper steps. So that's something else that I find that people do. I think those are the key things that I want to highlight. You know, stop cutting corners and stop using people who are not professionals, you know, to help you with your transaction. Finally, you know, do your due diligence. You know, just because someone says they're a real estate agent doesn't mean they are. This is not a regulated market. So that means that I could literally be working as a nurse and wake up today and say, oh my, I feel like selling properties, because there is no regulation. There's no licensing process here. So just because somebody says does not mean that they are, you know, so do your due diligence.
I think one of the challenges people were facing and still are is finding out, where do I start? So they're in the US or the UK, they're sitting, they know they want to invest in Ghana, and they think, where do I start? So I think the fact that you've even started and created something like Gareb, where there is an association, is an awesome start, which is why we go on about it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because, and we'll put the details below so people can start with the right people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, Ghana Association of Real Estate Brokers, when you go to the website, the real estate professionals that you find on there all have office locations, all have registered businesses, all have done their police check with their fingerprints, you know, the no criminal records, and we all have a code of ethics we must follow.
Yeah.
And we have trainings, seminars to make sure that we are all kept up to breast with, you know, what is happening in the industry, and we also have a standard of fees. So, you know, you go to an unprofessional and they'll just look at the shoes that you got on and may charge you $10,000 for a fee. You know what I mean? But we have our parameters that we cannot charge above that. So, you know, that's one of the key things about having this association.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I think...
Yes, so Gareb is just such an amazing organization that can really be the point that people returning or coming to Ghana can put their trust in and have some great experiences buying homes.
Absolutely.
But we're sitting here and you know we like an exclusive on the show, and we know you have a passion for affordable housing. We know, let me not say anything more, tell our people what's in store.
Okay, only because I love them so much. And we haven't announced it anywhere yet, but we will announce it here, that we are partnering with an entity and launching affordable housing in September. Now, the good news is that you will be able to buy properties under $40,000, under $40,000. So it's a great location. And you know, I always say that it's so important, location, location, location. But you know, everybody has a plan, an investment plan. And I strongly believe in purchasing in emerging markets, because that's where you'll see the greatest appreciation. That's where you'll have great returns on your investment. You'll have awesome capital gains. You know, you have your exit strategy in place, and you'll have good rental income in the future and that sort of thing. So this is a great, great investment opportunity, whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're investor who wants to you know, dive into the real estate investment opportunities in Ghana. We have this launching in September, affordable housing under $40,000. And I said it first right here on Ghana Bound.
Ghana Bound exclusive. Yes.
Yes.
And that's amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing to see truly affordable housing.
Yeah.
And because we have a housing, or rather people to housing deficit going on right now in Ghana, it's going to help a lot of people. We're excited.
I'm excited, yes.
Definitely. And it's a good price range for those returning, because a lot of, you know, you've saved up, maybe you're an NHS worker coming to the end of the of your time in work, and you've got that nest egg and you want their investment. This is going to be amazing.
It is, and you know, let me just say this. You bring up a very good point about people who have been saving, and you know, this is your retirement and you want to purchase. You know, recently, or a year ago, we partnered with an entity and also launched affordable housing program. And I remember speaking with a client, and she lives overseas and she'd been there for over 30 years.
Right.
And this was her opportunity to purchase this affordable unit. And she said to me that, you know, she started crying and she was so emotional, and she said, finally, Hannah, I can come back home. I was living overseas stuck because I could not afford to buy a home in my homeland Ghana. But today I'm packing my bags and now I'm able to come home.
That is amazing.
You know, and so for you to, you know, touch on that, it's so important to have made even that much of an impact in somebody's life through home ownership. And we want to be able to do this more, to encourage more people to own a piece of their homeland Ghana. And not only that, but to be able to create generational wealth through home ownership, one house at a time.
Amazing.
Amazing. Amazing.
That's what it's about.
I mean, it is. I do personally feel the weight of all these people that are coming trying to make it work back. And I say to Yaba a lot of the time, just thinking of that NHS worker and just being as wahala free as possible in that experience. Is there anything else that you'd like to bring to light at this moment?
Well, you know, one of the things that I realize as well is there's a lot of people who lack education about the home buying process in Ghana. You know, every country, the home buying process is different. So we have the first time home buyers in Ghana seminar, which is something we do every year in December. So the one this year is coming up December 7th. It's going to be at the Accra International Conference Center, and the theme is all things home. So we're going to have a lot of vendors, from food vendors, you know, to vendors who are selling home products, the exterior stuff, interior stuff, from, you know, drapes to carpets to blinds, and then the exterior things like the generator, home security. We even have a vendor that has home nurses that actually come to your home and take care of, you know, your elderly parents or sick people and that sort of thing. So all things home. So that's going to be December 7th, and it's endorsed by Beyond the Return. So we're very, very excited. And I'm going to be talking about the home buying process in Ghana. People need to be educated so they don't make mistakes in purchasing a home here.
Yes, and we'll be there too.
Of course. They have to be there.
We'll be there like we were last year.
Yes,
for
yes.
sure.
Fantastic.
So I know you have a lot of things going on. So tell us a bit more about what else we have in store.
Yeah, so something I'm really excited about is that we are in the midst of launching a new service, which is going to be, you know, business process outsourcing, where right now we are actually working with various entities, from real estate developers to real estate investors to YouTubers as well, to, you know, financial institutions, debt collection agencies, where we are the center for receiving calls, inbound, outbound calls. And so we are the sales arm or the collection arm for some of these agencies. So essentially it's a call center. It's a call center. Yes, because, you know, right now we know a lot of call centers are based in Asia.
Yes.
But now we want people to look at Africa.
Yes.
Look at Ghana first, but we want people to look at Africa. And, you know, we have a lot to offer here. A lot of majority of our people are very well educated. They have a higher education, masters, and even PhDs. They speak very well, very articulate. You know, you can understand them. And also the time zone. You know, it's only 4 hours difference from, you know, the East Coast in the US, 5 hours, and then, you know, 8 hours. And then the UK, it's only a 1 hour difference, and some places it's the same time as opposed to Asia, which may be, you know, 10, 12, 14 hour time difference. So, we, you know, we have a lot to offer. So definitely, you know, it's something we have launched, and we are eager to get more contracts for institutions that are interested in partnering with us in creating job opportunities for the youth. So this is about youth empowerment, getting them on the phone, making calls, you know, and putting some money in their pockets too.
This is the best news I've heard for a long time, because it is about time. So for those things, where can people find it? Because I know people now, businesses will be saying, okay, I want to, you know, sign up with you, have a contract.
Right.
Where can they find you?
Great. So you can call the number on the screen, which will be our office line. Also for first-time home buyers, if you home buyers in Ghana seminar, if you want to purchase your tickets, it's only, I think, $15. $15 to get all the industry information. And I forgot to mention, we'll have 2 panel discussions. One will be talking about affordable housing and its feasibility in Ghana. And the other panel discussion, my ultimate favorite, is building generational wealth through home ownership, and how that can be possible here, because we don't find that a lot in the continent.
No, we don't.
And we want to start changing it right here in Ghana, where, you know, overseas, over 95% of millionaires started with a real estate portfolio. We're changing the narrative, and we want to see that happen right here in Ghana. So you can get your tickets on eventbrite.com, ticketmiller.com, and visit our website, firsttimehomebuyersinghana.seminar.com. So fthb.com. I think the link will be all the information will be on the screen.
This is a description box you don't want to pass. You're going to find everything underneath the video right here.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Hannah. We have reached like the pinnacle, I think, of information. We found the person, the go-to for Ghana and real estate. I know for a fact there are many people inspired by what you have just said to us today. So any other final words for those people considering moving back or feeling very led to move back to Ghana?
You know, I would say just do it. Just do it. I think one of the greatest challenges is just starting. So just start, don't despise small beginnings, and just take that step of boldness, that step of courage, that step of faith, and you can do it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Hanna. Thank you for your time today. I know you're a busy lady, but we are very blessed to have had you with us today.
I am blessed to be here with you today. Thank you both so much.
You're welcome.
My favorite couple.
Thank you once again. And with that being said, we've come to the part. If you like this, hit that like button. If you think someone could really benefit from all the content today, share it. And what would be fantastic if you hit the follow button. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.